Okay, so now we're going to look again at solving systems of equations using elimination, but this time the systems are going to be a little bit more difficult. So as we talked about before, we always want to start by reminding ourselves that our x's are lined up, our y's are lined up, our equal signs are lined up, and our constants are lined up. So that's good. We're all in good shape on that. The issue is here that we don't have a variable that's positive and negative that we can easily get rid of. So for example, if I add these two equations right now, I would have x plus x is 2x, and negative 2y plus 3y would give me a negative 1y. So I'm not able to eliminate anything. So what I need to do is manipulate one of these two equations so that I can have an equation that when I add them together, one of the variables will be eliminated. So if I look at this, it looks like I can multiply this whole equation by negative 1, and that would make this x a negative number, right? So let's think about that. If I multiply this whole thing by negative 1, I will get, let's see, negative x, right? Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 2y is a positive 2y, equals negative 1 times negative 9, that's just a positive 9. So I haven't changed this equation or made it different, I've just manipulated it. It's still the same equation. And I'm just going to recopy my second equation, making sure everything stays lined up. And now I have a situation where I can eliminate by adding these two equations together. Negative x plus positive x gives me 0, so those are going to go away. 2y plus 3y is 5y, equals 9 plus 16 is 25. And if we divide both of these by 5, we find that y equals 5. But remember, a solution is some x, y variable. So I need to find my x value this time. I found my y. So I'm going to plug it in to one of these equations. And I'm going to just choose this equation because it's a little bit easier to deal with. X plus 3y equals 16 because everything is positive. Be careful, I have no x this time. So x plus 3, my y is 5, equals 16. So I'm going to do the math. 3 times 5 is 15, equals 16. Now I need to solve for x, so I'm going to get rid of this positive 15 by subtracting 15. And I have x equals 1. So when I put this together, right, I got to put it in my xy, it's 1, 5. Next, I'm going to take a look at another system, and in this case, same problem. All my x's are lined up, and my y's are lined up, and my equal signs are lined up, and my constants are lined up. But if I add these two together, nothing is going to cancel out. I get a positive 5x, I get a positive 3y, so that's not going to work. I'm going to need to change one of these. So let's think about that. It looks like if I multiply this whole equation by 4, I'll then have a negative 4y here. And that's what I need. That will allow me to cancel that out with this positive 4y. So let's again pull this equation out. And let's multiply the whole thing by 4 and see what we get, right? So that's 8x minus 4y equals 36. And I'm going to now recopy the second equation. And I'm going to be able to then add these two together, and I will get an 11x. This negative 4y and positive 4y, when I add them together, they'll cancel out, right? Equals 22. So now I can divide by 11, and I will get x is equal to 2. Okay, so now that we have found x, we need to substitute that back into one of our original equations. And I'm going to pick, I don't know, this first one looks pretty easy to work with, so let's use that. 2x minus y equals 9. Use that one. And then I will substitute 2 in for x, so 2 times 2 minus y equals 9. 4 minus y equals 9. Okay. Then I can get y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 4. Negative y equals 5. Remember, we can't leave it as a negative y, so that's just a negative 1 y, right? So to get rid of that, we're going to divide by negative 1. Divide both sides by negative 1, and y equals a negative 5. So my solution is 2 comma negative 5. All right, let's look at just one more example. All right, so as always, check to make sure x's are lined up, y's are lined up, and constants are lined up. Now my issue here is, again, I don't seem to have anything that is a positive and negative, but it looks like if I multiply this equation by 3, that would give me a 3y, but I need a negative. So if I multiply this equation by negative 3, then that will give me a negative 3y here. And that will allow me to cancel these two out. So you have to kind of work it through. You have to think about it, right? You could think about multiplying this to get 7, but what could you multiply by 2 to get 7? There's nothing. So it's not going to be as easy to work with the x's. All right, so let's do it. I'm going to take this first equation here, negative 7x plus y equals negative 19. And I'm going to multiply the whole thing by negative 3. Notice I'm doing the entire equation by negative 3. Okay, so negative 3 times negative 7x is 21x. Negative 3 times y is negative 3y. And negative 3 times 19, I don't know what that is, so let's just do it over here. 27, 57. Be a positive 57. Okay, so then I'm going to bring down my other equation. I don't need to do anything with it. Negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 19. Just making sure everything is lined up, and I'm going to add these two together. So this would be a 19x. These guys are going to cancel out, which is what we want. And then I do 57 minus 19. That's a 6, 4, 36. 36 is going to be, yeah, positive 36. Something here doesn't look quite right, but let's keep going. Okay. I feel like this is not going to work out. Times 3, 21, negative 3, 27, 57. That's all right. Not sure why this isn't working out, but we divide by 19, divide by 19. Oof. X equals, that's not going to divide evenly. 19 times 2 is 38. Is there any way? Oh, yeah, this is, I knew it. Sorry, guys. This is an 8, 38. Sorry, 17 minus, that's, I knew this was not going to work out. Okay. Sorry, this number should have been 38 divided by 2. You would have gotten x was 2. Sorry, everybody. All right, and then I need to substitute this back in to find y. So I can pick one of these two equations. I'm just going to do this one. It doesn't really matter. None of them look particularly great. Okay, so my value for x is 2. Negative 14 plus y equals negative 19. Add 14 to both sides. Y is equal to negative 5. So my solution here is 2 comma negative 5. Oh, it's the same as the one above. Interesting. 2 comma negative 5. Okay. So now you're going to flip over and try some of the practice problems on the back of this page on your own. Good luck.